Here's the attendance sheet also.
Well, I've got one right here. I've already checked some.
Okay.
Travis, could you lead us in the pledge?
Yes.
And I'll say the prayer. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Would you please stand? We'll have the pledge of allegiance. Short prayer.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this gathering of citizens to do the work of our great county. Bless this country and bless our state also, and bless those who serve us. In His precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we'll give you a minute or two to look over the minutes of the previous meeting. Does anyone have any corrections or comments about the minutes of last month's meeting? If not, could I have a motion to approve?
I'd like to make one comment. Having worked in septics for a long time, I'm concerned about our requiring lot sizes. As the current law states, there is no lot sizes as long as you can adhere to the building codes and stay back. The reason they did that was to straighten up places like Hardinsburg and Fredericksburg and Little York. We now have direct discharge technology where you've got UV lights and chlorination, and you're able to directly discharge without having to have a big area for a septic system. So I'm not sure that this part of your, staying with the lot size would ever hold up in a court.
Well, this is a county ordinance for now. So yeah, we'll discuss that I'm sure that will come up later. It has come up several times, but for now, we just want to approve the minutes as written, and then, yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, motion made by Danielle, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Marcia. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, just real quickly here. Today at the Commissioners meeting, we did approve the contract for Connor Barnett up in Jackson County to finalize the document, take all the work we've been doing the last several years and get it documented and to come up with the final draft, so to speak. And I think he'll try to get that done in about 90 days. And that did get approved today, so we're on the road to getting this wrapped up, hopefully by the end of the year. Mr. Greene, would you like to come forward?
Todd, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Is someone taking minutes?
That's a good question, because usually Emily does.
I will do it.
Does that mean you just volunteered?
Yeah, I got a computer.
Thank you.
Are you guys sending around one copy for the minutes to sign?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that. Max, I've got some information Lisa printed up
Okay.
for you that will clarify
Okay.
probably a lot of things. I know you don't have time to sit there and read it, but I just want to make sure we were on the same sheet of music. If you would just briefly voice your concerns and.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do what I have and then see if it rectifies with what you've given me. I'd asked to speak at the meeting again, and I'd been asked to talk to her, and we did, but she didn't get back with us for a while, so that's why I asked to be back on the agenda again. My concern is now we're going through another grant process, waiting to get the money for the comprehensive plan again. That the last time we went through that, and initially Tom Cypher was the lawyer, and in order to not lose the $60,000 grant money, he had to replace Terry McNeely and another member who did not comply with the standards for board membership. That was back when it initially did the first thing. And my concern as far as board membership is 36-7-4-208, no more than 3 of the same political party as a 5-member citizen group. And that is determined by 36-1-8-10, how they participated in the last primary prior to the appointment to office. It's been changed now the last 2 times that they voted in the primary. But still, the membership, I feel, did not match and had it for years, for the last few years anyway. And then the other concern is 36-7-4-216. The membership of the 5 citizen members must own property or reside within the jurisdiction of the board. And my concern with some of the membership location, what we've had for members in the past, they actually resided within the 2-mile fringe claimed by the city of Salem.
That's legal.
The city is, well, 36-7-4-610. Salem has exclusive jurisdiction to all the geographical area of the 2-mile fringe that they claim on their map.
That was addressed probably over a year ago by John Meade, and that was resolved. And if you want to challenge it legally, you can. Everything you just mentioned is spelled out in the documents you've got in front of you as far as political parties and as far as that goes. It's all addressed in there, and if you have any other questions regarding these qualifications for board members, then you need to talk to Lisa Fleming, because we've been over this several times, and
Okay. Can we talk about the BZA membership then?
it's all addressed in here.
The 36-7-4-905, BZA member cannot hold an elected office.
Once again, you'll need to talk to her.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Travis, do you have anything for us?
No.
Well, Danielle, I know you had been talking to Emily, and I thought she was going to be here tonight. I know you guys had been working on this, and we were supposed to go, the way I understood it, go by section, and basically tabulate by a process of elimination what we do know, which is in this county, these parcels, the majority of them are ag. So the first one you have, I believe, is Brown.
Have we come up with, do we have I don't know what the number of them is, the zones,
Yes, we do.
have we finalized that, what?
Yep.
Can you read those off real quick and I'll write them down? Oh, I found them right here.
You found them.
Yeah, they're in the minutes, in the back of the minutes.
Okay. Yeah, David, if you look in the minutes there, they're listed there. Marshall.
6 of them.
Back page. Yeah, that'll be kind of the guideline there, what we're looking for as far as the zones. Daniel, what do you think would be the easiest way to do this? Just go section by section and just put a big check mark on our maps, or what do you think?
I think that would be okay too. I don't really have an idea for the best way to go about doing it.
Okay.
Emily and I had said we were going to get together and discuss, but we had not been able to, so.
Okay.
um,
I don't think it'd be a bad idea just to start, if we're on Brown, start at the top on section 22 there.
Yep.
And I
Just
think a
go-
lot of these are going to fall into zone 1 pretty easily, so we
Yeah.
can get through several of these pretty quick.
Okay, did everyone agree 22 is ag, check?
Now, sorry for another question. Are we talking about individual parcels? I think we are.
Yes. Well, if we come to a section that's all ag, I mean, thing about it is, I mean, and it's gonna be color coded, so if you run onto one that's a subdivision, it's gonna be very evident. You run onto a platted town, it's gonna be very evident. And the businesses an industrial or general business will have to get a separate map for that. But I think for this evening, we just need to identify all the ag and just go right down, not necessarily by parcel, but by section. I think that's what Emily suggested.
So Todd, I have a purple highlighter. How about if we decide the whole section is ag? I'll highlight the number in purple. And then if there's a section that not all of it is ag, I'll just highlight the ag parcels
That'd be great.
in purple. How's that? And next time I'll bring another color.
I think I don't know what happened to her this evening, but she was gonna bring some highlighters.
Okay. Well, I have a purple one. That's
Yeah.
what I got.
It's like there's only 3 areas in Brown Township that would be.
Danielle, I have a yellow one if that helps.
Other than ag.
Yeah. That's,
I think it works.
Yeah,
Thank you.
right.
yeah.
Forestry, state of Indiana, you know, and then you got these.
Anyway, and those will be excluded because they'll be incorporated areas, so.
I think they're including incorporated and unincorporated.
Okay.
Those would be 4s.
So we just want to say 22, I think everybody would agree we can highlight the whole section as ag. 23 as well.
Yep.
24 as well. 27.
Yep.
I don't see a reason why not to. 26 ag. 25 ag. 33 ag. 34 ag. 35.
35 be Campbellsburg.
Ag. Yeah, let's see.
He's up at the top.
So yes,
35.
I'm reading off of these sections here.
It's a different,
33, 34, 35. Yeah, I'm just kind of going left.
Here at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just going left to right and coming back down. 35 ag. 30, what is that? 30, yeah, 36 ag. Gets us to 4.
Yeah.
I believe we could go all the way down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then jump down the line 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's all of that is ag.
So 1 through 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Correct.
Thank you.
When we get to 13, part of that falls into the forestry recreation because that's state land.
Okay, so forestry. So everything else though?
Yeah. Which includes part of 23. And then, actually all the rest, with the exception of I didn't know Soutella was that big. Soutella and Camelsburg, you take those two out, and then you've got the whole remainder of the township that's ag.
So how should I mark Saltillo? Does that get made into,
Yeah, number 4, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, number 4, it's a platted town, whether it's incorporated or unincorporated.
Okay, so even like the city of Salem is gonna get a number 4
Right.
zoning, okay.
Are they only gonna be one, like they can't be like 4 and 3? Like 2 together, it's one or the other? Like, could you have a 3 within a 4?
My understanding is that no,
Okay.
that parcel would be, if you have a subdivision, the parcels that make up the subdivision will be a 3.
Okay,
And then maybe surrounded by
Okay.
a 4.
so it's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we would get down to the parcel level to change.
but there could be permitted uses, right? Inside that maybe fall into another. Like you could have a general business maybe in, I don't know, I'm making this up.
Yeah, you could have a 6 and a 4.
You could have a parcel that's that's zoned to general business,
Yeah.
and it could be surrounded by ag, or it could be surrounded by number 2, that's forestry recreation.
Okay,
And that's kind of what my understanding, that's what we're identifying here. If we find a business that we think needs to be zoned that way, long term, or more than just, well, I guess if you find a business that is existing that needs to have the zoning for that area for future use, we would zone it
okay.
6, regardless of what surrounds it.
What about a church?
I saw that too. I just thought about that.
But a church would be a permitted use inside, could be a permitted use
Within
inside
agriculture?
and
Yeah.
within agriculture.
Yeah.
Okay,
We could, we haven't got all of that, do we? What's permitted uses inside? We have some guidance that
Yeah.
yes, we do. We have guidance that we put together that allowed that.
Okay.
Like different.
But even within Brown, there are going to be some that are, basically, there's going to be some subdivisions, and we'll have to, probably Emily could do that. She'll put an overlay on this, so for now, it's all ag, and then we've plucked out Camelsburg, Saltillo, in the state of Indiana, which is forestry, and then the occasional subdivision that's scattered out throughout the township, then she'll be able to pull it up and identify that, so we don't have to be too concerned about that, because can't see them on the map for one thing, so.
Subdivisions.
okay.
I got a question real quick.
Yep.
Before you go any further. Number 4, the last part, unincorporated towns. Shouldn't that follow like subdivision / unincorporated towns? Because unincorporated towns is still gonna fall under the county. And they're still subdivided, just like a subdivision. There's not gonna be any difference once they lose their incorporation. And number 4 should just platted towns, incorporated areas, and then unincorporated areas with subdivision. They're both basically the same. once they lose their incorporation.
What's the same? You
So
mean-
a subdivision out of the county versus an unincorporated town.
See,
You still got two platted areas,
Yeah,
and then we still will go now. Then the county takes over the unincorporated town.
but it's either a town or it's a subdivision.
That's kind of what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, because it's
In a sense, there's no such thing as an unincorporated town.
gonna be
Yeah,
more similar to a subdivision. Not similar, it's gonna be very much like that, once you lose incorporation. Because you basically got two platted areas there.
I do think that 3 and 4, that we would have different. They'll have different. What term were we just using?
Restrictions.
Restrictions inside of those. I think we already have. I think we already have those established.
Well, for one thing, the incorporated towns they'll have their own rules somewhat.
Yeah, because we won't be going in the incorporated towns. You'll be the county like me, and you'll still be going in the subdivisions and in the incorporated towns. It'll just be very similar. I think that would be more subdivision and unincorporated towns would be more similar than number 4, than incorporated towns being in number 4.
Yeah, they would be.
but I would think that like an unincorporated town might have businesses
Mhm.
in
exactly.
them where a subdivision is
I
the
was just
noun
thinking of that.
subdivision probably won't have unless it's like,
So like if Pekin, where you're unincorporated town, you've got your barber shop and your car lot and your
grocery store.
Well, you
phone company, or no, phone company
Yeah.
and bank. No, there's no bank there.
Like use Martinsburg as an example.
Use Hardinsburg and Fredericksburg. Hardinsburg's a real good one because they're unincorporated, and they've got all kinds of businesses. They get, I don't know, 5 or 6 businesses. They're an unincorporated town.
So is Pekin now incorporated because
Yeah.
I don't think they were before.
Yeah, they're
Because they
incorporated.
never required
Yeah.
building requirements.
Yeah, we
or
don't-
things.
We don't have any jurisdiction there.
The
Yeah,
Ace
I guess-
Hardware's in Hardinsburg, isn't it? Or is that Fredericksburg?
I guess
No, it's
I'm
Hardinsburg.
confused on why these incorporated towns why we would just exclude them.
Mhm.
Exclude what?
Incorporated towns.
Is it just for the purpose of zoning them?
Well, we are excluding them, but we
In a sense,
have to identify.
yeah.
Zone them.
And I think identifying the unincorporated town at least lets you know, hey, this is probably predominantly business.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's when the red flags go up.
Yeah.
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 But Travis makes a good point. Maybe unincorporated towns should be on the same line as subdivisions. And then incorporated towns, their own color.
Either way you look at it, I mean, there's just some similarities there. you know,
Right.
Versus jurisdiction, we're gonna be going into, I'm gonna be going into both versus incorporated town.
I think it all boils down to exactly what Danielle said. There aren't going to be any businesses at all in a subdivision. There will be businesses in incorporated and unincorporated towns. I think that's
Mhm.
Yeah.
the main point there. That's why I don't think you could combine
Subdivisions.
unincorporated towns with a subdivision because they're different animals. It's still a town, whether
For
it's,
your purposes, it's
So-
different.
It's
So
different,
these just
yeah.
all, I mean,
But for what they're doing
these
here,
just automatically get layered in.
I
there.
Yeah,
guess, just
just-
identifying it on the map.
We just don't need to.
So Todd, just to clarify, Campbellsburg is an incorporated town. Is Saltillo?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
incorporated.
it is.
They are incorporated.
Have been for years.
Okay, thank you. I don't know how I'm supposed to know other than remember. I don't know.
I never knew.
Yep.
I thought they
So
were
generally
incorporated.
speaking, we're saying most of this is ag, but Emily will be able to pull out, there might be one little tract that's a
Yes,
business.
so I pulled that from our county website, the let the subdivision layer. And some of these we are going over, there are platted subdivisions in some of these. I don't know, I guess it's a question for Emily is, will they just get layered into the zoning map and they automatically are zoned? What number was
Sorry,
lost? Zoned 3.
Yeah, that's the plan, yeah.
Okay, so we don't need to really identify, we don't need to say, oh, in 34 there's a subdivision.
No,
She's just gonna overlay it and
Yeah.
they automatically get.
Just for the sake of time and trying to get this, it's a matter of narrowing this down. And, you know, like I say, in this case, most of it's ag, so plucking out the ones that we know, all these sections that are ag, with the exception of a subdivision or two, which she can do. It's very obvious out in Campbellsburg or towns. We got this state of Indiana forestry. So everything else should fall right in place once she gets the overlays on the individual townships. And, you know, there may be a general business or two that she'll be able to identify, but there won't be very many.
May I ask you a question, Todd?
Yeah.
For the state of Indiana, that land, do we have any jurisdiction? Is it really forestry?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know.
No, I don't, I mean, we don't have any, not with the state.
Right,
You should
so,
know that.
well, what I'm thinking is,
What were you
should we really even identify it as forestry and recreation?
Because for Washington County purposes, it's really irrelevant.
That
Yeah.
you're understanding what I'm asking. Thank you.
Because we're not going to do anything with that land. Nobody's going to come to the BZA. That's for a
Yeah, that's what,
variance.
if they wanted to build a cabin on there, they wouldn't come to you, right?
I think to create less confusion, if it's owned by the state of Indiana, we need to go ahead and call it forestry recreation, because we have no control on what goes on there. And it could very well, it could be agriculture, but the fact that it's owned by the state, you can just about bet that it's going to be forestry.
Is it, and I don't know, but is it possible in 30 years the state sells parcels from a state-owned forestry to, I mean, and so in that case, it would need to be,
And then they buy some on occasion.
so it would need to be zoned by the county.
That makes sense.
They bought a whole bunch up in northern
They buy a lot of
Monroe County several years ago, a whole bunch along the river.
Thank you.
Okay, is Brown, anything else we need to discuss on that? Brimstone Corner.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that one of that brimstone corners? Do you know what that is?
This is the intersection of White River and Spider Hill. Not a subdivision.
Okay.
I don't know if there's even anything there except for Trent's Barn.
No, I don't know what that means.
I don't, yeah, I've never heard of that before. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Marcia, do you have anything?
Mm-mm.
You okay with Brown, David?
just them.
Okay. Let's go to Vernon. I know Smedley is an unincorporated town, but we might ought to make a note of that. There are two businesses there. Well, actually, stretch of highway there, there's Smedley Farm Service, and then
Is it Highway 60 Garage, is that what it's called?
yeah, that, and then the salvage yard there.
Yeah.
So we'll just make a note of that. That would definitely be general business.
Is the vet that far? I can't remember his name. Is he closer in or is he that far out?
He's not that far.
Okay, I can't remember his name.
Many more.
Oh, yeah.
So include,
Would any of those, do you think every parcel in that stretch you're talking around Smedley would fall into general business, or do you think any of them fall into industrial? And I don't know our definition of industrial, but we talk about like Whirlies, that may fall into industrial.
We'll check on that, but yeah, it's a good question. We did have two industrial sections. We had a light and a heavy. We combined it into one for just the sake of just common sense simplicity. And I mean, I may be wrong, but I assume that industrial is going to refer to, factories. I mean, I would think that Smedley Farm Supply would be general business as would be the salvage yard.
What is that? Yeah.
I think industrial would just
I2.
refer to
So yeah, it's got this.
production of a product or something like that.
Okay, so prior to last month's meeting, when we combined these as 6, if we look at definitions from, I guess it's from KK's.
yeah,
When she had several of them in 2, industrial, light and heavy, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Scrap metal and junk or salvage would fall into I2. So I think that,
That's industrial.
yeah, so I think that would, so to me, Whirlies is probably going to fall. We probably need to zone that parcel as industrial.
Okay.
There's several parcels there. It's from the train tracks on there.
There may be several parcels in this county that would be zoned industrial. Salvage. Junk cars, tractors. No, I'm being serious.
I know, I think I have a neighbor that qualifies.
It doesn't show it, but there's a big industrial spot being built right there at 60 and Lost River Road that goes to Claysville. Not sure what they're putting in there, but it's a big agricultural.
Oh, over there on the
Is that Sullivan Road?
south side of the road?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be the new Premier Ag.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's something you might want to pencil in there.
yeah, that's on That's in Vernon, isn't it? Oh, wait. No,
No, it would be on.
No, it's in Brown.
That's in
Yep.
Brown, yeah.
It's in Brown. Yeah, we probably better make a note of that.
Where are you talking about?
It's at the intersection of all the way out Highway 60 before you get to the county line into Orange County,
Probably.
at the intersection of Sotelo, Bono Road. If you
Oh,
go,
okay.
if you go to Brown and look at,
76 acres.
follow Highway 62. Yeah,
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Belgian Cattle Company.
okay.
Hmm.
Better make a note of that. Okay. You better see anything that sticks out there in Vernon that's not agriculture, other than around the Smedley area?
Is, maybe this just isn't zoomed in enough. Do we have, is there actual parcels that we're going to label as zone 4 for the Smedley area? I think we're probably going to have to.
4?
Yeah.
Well, it's
The unincorporated towns.
not a town.
Oh. I thought you said it was an unincorporated.
I don't think it's either one.
Okay.
That'd be about like,
Are there lots in Smedley that resemble lots in Hardensburg? I think there probably is, where things like lot size are going to come into effect.
no.
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything too small that wouldn't
No.
meet the requirement.
It's, Smedley isn't platted to my knowledge. I've never seen a plat. I don't think they ever platted it. It was just a stopover on the railroad watering hole. It's about like Brimstone Corners.
Okay, I think I would agree with you. There's not
see anything?
lots that are as small. I was thinking about this road here, but those are not.
The only thing I see in Vernon might be the West Washington School. I'm not sure how you would.
These schools are probably allowed in ag.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, that's a good point. Forgot about the school up there.
Yeah. So what we have here, preschool through 12 only, right?
Yeah, so if we use the KK rules from our old zones, the ag zone allows for educational facilities.
So it's ag.
Yeah, ag's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the section of 56 in Vernon? Is that anything but ag?
Where?
The southeast corner of Vernon, there's a section of Highway 56. I was wondering if there's any highway business there that we would need to address, but
I don't think there is right through there, although There is an ag place there. What's the name of that ag place? on
Ne-
the
oh,
road
Neff.
called West, yes, Neff.
Neff.
Before you get to West Western School, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's on that. Yeah, it is, I know. That should be it right there,
I don't,
behind the 56 sign, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to set Premier?
Do they need a general, maybe a general business?
Yeah, that'd be a general business.
And there's two, I mean, there is a Premier has a
Yeah, they do have a
parcel
place
there next to it, so probably both of those.
Premier Ag and Neff Fertilizer.
So on the other one, we said that Premier was going to be industrial. Do we want to make that general business?
We did?
I'm pretty sure that's what we said. That's what I wrote down.
So, yeah.
With the chemicals, the fertilizer, would that be classified
Yeah,
industrial?
that may be.
Chemical.
Let's see.
She's gonna tell us here, but.
I'm good at telling. Maybe.
While she's looking at that, I want to just make a comment and make sure I'm thinking if anyone disagrees with me. But when we're saying that these parcels get this classification for industrial, if we didn't do that, that doesn't mean that that business is in any kind of violation because they're going to be grandfathered through that. But if that business were to close or put a for sale sign up, that parcel is zoned what we are deeming it to be zoned for future use, I guess is where the way I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah. It's a kind of a safety net.
I guess that makes me think like back to like the Smedley area. Does that whole corridor of Highway 60, is there any benefit to just zoning that whole corridor general business?
It would be simpler.
And even if there's a home there, I think homes are probably single family dwellings are allowed in the general business district. That's a corridor that we know is developed. It probably will be developed again in the future. It would save someone coming to get a variance if they wanted to build a business where a house sits in that area.
Or say someone already has a house there and they're like, oh, I'm gonna turn it into a business now. Oh,
Yeah,
I just found out I'm zoned business, I can make this into a business.
Wouldn't be any harm in it, would there?
Unless they have neighbors that complain they don't want to be next to a business.
That could very well happen.
Mhm.
Just trying to think of, how if you're changing this and they're like, hey, we didn't move here with the anticipation there'd be a business next to us,
Mhm.
but you are on a state highway.
right.
So
Dwellings are allowed. I've seen dwellings are allowed.
We can change that.
So our old rules here kick in, but single family dwellings are not permitted inside the old business 1 or business 2 models, which I think we've condensed to just general business.
But, and neither are farm residents. That's, to me, a little confusing.
I don't really see the purpose either, but
Anything else on Vernon?
So do we want to make the properties that are along 160, sorry, not 160, along 60, do we want to make those business? With the intent that we need to change our use so that, our use chart so that single-family dwellings are,
The whole length of the highway?
I'm asking, or just like,
Well, it could work both ways, because if you don't do anything and you only zone the existing businesses accordingly, and you leave the rest of them alone, somebody's gonna come along and put a business in along the highway, and then they'll have to ask that it be zoned accordingly, whether business or industrial. On the other hand, if we go ahead and do the whole corridor, as a business, they're gonna have to get a variance based on what Andrew said to turn it back into residential, right? Because you said you don't allow single-family dwelling.
according to our rules, that we have not set in stone.
Okay, so in other words, that could be changed.
Yeah.
Why don't we consult the guy we hired?
I agree. I agree
See what
with
he says about that.
that. And I don't know that we
We
should.
so-called experts.
Yeah. That's what we're paying him for.
Yeah. I think my thought is to not zone it, the whole entire corridors because of what you just said, Todd, that,
It may just end up causing more work,
yeah, it would.
and who knows when that would happen. May happen 10 years, or maybe 100 years. Okay, since we pretty much got the ag identified in some of these other areas, can you pull up subdivisions? You got that out there? You want to try to do that? Since we got a little time here.
so what am I doing with 56 and 60? Business or no? Leave it all ag.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the individual parcels though? We talked about like, Worley's is coming back to mind because
Yeah, those are gonna have to be
I think like the Worley's parcel will have to be industrial. And probably the Smedley Farm Service.
Smedley,
General.
Premier Ag,
Premier
and fertilizer.
And then 337, I'm not familiar. Dave, you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Is, that's just farm through that piece.
Yeah, that's all Easter days farming operation.
So to answer your question, Todd, on the subdivisions, this is what Emily will pull up and these are.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's worth our time to sit here and identify them because all she's gonna do is take this map and overlay it onto our zoning map and it'll be
Okay,
done.
okay.
I think that's my assumption on it.
All right. Yeah.
The only thing I can think about there would be Easter Day Brothers. I'm not sure if that's them, that's their building,
Is it,
or going up a little bit.
you're talking about where the, that's in
So,
Orange County?
oh,
isn't
is
it?
it, this is all?
Where the, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they have any business.
Bromer, that's the, yeah.
But that's on that same stretch.
Yeah, it's on the same stretch of road.
Mhm.
Okay, this is right up Livonia now. I can,
have to have that
I can
too.
figure out where that's at now. Yeah, that's just ag.
Okay.
Are we supposed to have Madison?
Well,
No, just Brent?
I didn't get it.
Okay, want to make sure I wasn't missing something, because the minutes from last time said we were going to do Madison, Brown, and Vernon.
I think she thought that this was gonna take longer than what it did, so she narrowed it.
When we talked on the phone, you guys just said Brown and Vernon, so that's all I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
But tell me what to do next time and I will
Yeah.
bring
Okay.
those.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that, and maybe we'll have you print off 4 of them, and
Okay.
we
Or
can,
maybe just have print off all, and then we can get through as many as we get through.
No, that's a good point,
and- Yeah.
And you guys will just bring them back every week?
yep,
Yeah, well.
we'll see how that
I
goes.
used to be a teacher.
That's why you said that.
Yeah, I did.
And you will bring them back every week?
Maybe we should just leave
Y'all,
them
I'm
here.
asking if you all will remember to bring them back each month. If I print them all.
We'll just find a little shelf somewhere and stick them all there.
We could do that too, as long as you had your names on them. They do that in school too, little cubby holes in them.
I had, in my classroom, I had a shelf that everybody could put their stuff on, and if you left it on your desk, like on the desk, you didn't put it up, we would play hot and cold with it the next class period. And so like we tape it underneath the desk and
That's
different things. It was mean, but they remembered to put it up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, in starting the meeting, I want to welcome David Lyles to the board. Thank you. Appreciate you serving.
Wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to
Yeah.
serve on such a distinguished board, and I hope I'm some kind of service to the community.
Yep. Does anybody have anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, the attendance sheet? Where'd that go?
All I got was the minutes.
I've got it right here.
Okay,
It's okay. Got it.
keep track of this.
He
I know you do.
he just didn't want to leave without it.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We get adjourned.